In the quiet suburban neighborhoods of Long Island, New York, the summer of 2014 began like any other warm evenings, family gatherings, and small-town normalcy. But for one family, the season would mark the beginning of a nightmare. A young mother missing, a discovery in the woods, and a community forever changed. This is the story of Sarah Goode and the disturbing crime that shocked the nation. Sarah P. Goode was a 21-year-old medical technician, a devoted mother, and a loyal friend. On June 6, 2014, she joined friends at a party, an ordinary night out, the kind anyone expects to end with laughter and stories to share the next morning. But the next morning arrived, and Sarah did not come home. Her parents grew uneasy. She rarely left her 4-year-old daughter for long, and she had promised to return for a family birthday. When she did not appear, fear set in, and a missing person report was filed. 2 days later, just a mile from her home, Sarah's car was found. Inside were bloodstains, a bloody handprint, and signs of a violent struggle. Search teams, officers, volunteers, and neighbors combed the nearby woods. Then came the discovery: Sarah's body partially hidden, partially unclothed, brutally attacked and stabbed more than 40 times. The autopsy confirmed she had been sexually assaulted. Long Island was shaken to its core. Investigators pieced together her final hours. One name surfaced: Dante Taylor, a 19-year-old former Marine whom Sarah had met at the party. Digital forensics revealed messages between them shortly before she vanished. A bloody handprint in her car was linked to him. It seemed like a breakthrough. Taylor was arrested, but complications arose immediately. Police had questioned him without reading his rights and collected DNA and fingerprints without proper cause. These procedural violations forced investigators to release him, not because he was innocent, but because the initial detainment was unlawful. It was a devastating setback. But the case did not end there. Taylor was arrested later on unrelated charges, and investigators continued to build their case carefully and legally. When he finally went on trial, the courtroom was filled with tension, grief, and anger. Sarah's family sat through every harrowing detail. Prosecutor Anne-Marie Albertson presented the theory that Taylor had sought intimacy. Sarah rejected him, and he responded with violent rage. She argued he raped her, and then bludgeoned her with a metal object, striking her more than 40 times. The object, she said, was found embedded in her skull from the force. Some testimony was so overwhelming that a family member had to be escorted out of the courtroom. The defense attacked the investigation, citing deleted messages, other possible suspects, and alleged mishandling of evidence. But in the end, the jury reached its verdict: guilty. Taylor was convicted of first-degree rape, first-degree murder, and second-degree murder. He received life in prison without parole. Sarah's family tried to rebuild, raising her daughter with the memories of the mother she lost too soon. The community slowly moved forward, though the story left a lasting scar. But the case was not over. On July 2nd, 2017, 3 years after the murder, Taylor was found dead in his cell at Wend Correctional Facility. Officials declared it a suicide. His family immediately questioned the ruling, alleging he had been beaten by correctional officers and that warning signs were ignored. They filed a lawsuit arguing his death showed a failure in the system meant to contain him. Once again, a case filled with tragedy carried even more unanswered questions. The story of Sarah Goode is one of profound loss, a young mother whose life was stolen, a child left behind, and a family still seeking truth. It is a reminder of the fragile boundaries between safety and danger, trust and betrayal, law and justice. Years have passed, but the echoes of that night in June 2014 still linger in the woods of Long Island, in the courthouse halls, and in the hearts of those who loved her.